Well, stories from the Goldfields, dust in my nose, part 2 in May of this year, and today we have come to the Lopa site, and it's been, the last 24 hours have been really a lesson in keeping your eyes open and being open to new things happening. It's incredible how God can catch you completely unawares as you're going about your daily routine. So coming back yesterday from the Coca-Cola site, we blew a puncture, which is fairly typical around here. And while we were standing at the side of the road waiting for the tyre to be changed, we'd stopped by a couple of essentially mud huts with straw roofs, round huts, very beautiful looking. And there was a young woman and her baby sitting outside the door of one of these huts, and they were utterly engrossed in one another. It was beautiful to watch. Because they were so caught up in each other's presence and in each other's need for each other that they were unaware that there was this white guy standing not 10, 15 feet away watching this very intimate interaction between mother and child. And as I watched this unfold, I became increasingly aware of the presence of God in our lives is that attentive. God gazes upon us with no distraction, utterly caught up in the moment, utterly caught up in the simplicity of the gaze of the other person. And I know from years ago, reading the Song of Songs and the Psalms and going through a phase of my life where that level of intimate personal gaze was coming out of the text. And I remember thinking to myself, I see that as a lover sees the beloved. But this, I think, is one of the few times in my life, apart from my own children and their own mother, when I've observed that absolutely sacred moment in the midst of this crazy world, this crazy scenario, this mud-strewn, tyre-punctured, small-scale miners covered in mud coming back with sacks and machetes and shovels and picks, and the toing and froing of all the cars and the heavy lorries and the diesel fumes. Here, in the midst of the melee of the scenario, in the melee of life, was the sacred moment. And it was truly remarkable to watch, beautiful. And maybe if we spent less time in the melee, this was my thinking anyway, if I spent less time in the busy melee of life, trying to do things which improve everything, and spent a little bit more time caught up in the simple gaze of the Mother of God, the maternal of God, the feminine gaze of God, who knows? Who knows? It's yet to happen for me, but it is a little snapshot in time which I definitely carry away with me from this trip to secure a completely different matter, the mercury-free reality of gold production in the DRC. So stories from the Goldfields, how to get caught up in the maternal gaze of God.